Yeah, so like I was saying, people are creating different identities for themselves, and it gets passed along the way from each individual that meets another individual, especially people that have been through traumatic events. Being through a traumatic event, depending on what age you were, you literally stop at that age. And what I mean by stop at that age, time stops for you. And you get into this mode of you don't like yourself, you hate yourself, you don't want to do anything more in life, so you're just gonna sit there, soak, and mope around. And your body's still growing. Your mind still has to pertain to the reality of the world, going to school, uh, going to work, whatever it is. But what it's called is you're shutting yourself down. You're shutting your emotions down. You're putting a wall over your feelings. You're just not doing for you anymore. And that's like over 90% of the people in the world. And of course, mind you, in different situations. But when it comes to trauma victims at a young age, let's just use an example of 8 years old. Something traumatic happens to you. You stop right there. And like I said, you go through all those things. And then from that point on, you do things basically to get yourself in trouble. Meaning you don't give a crap what happens. You'll be adventurous. You'll be spontaneous. You'll be heroic. Whatever it is, you're willing to do anything once, right? And so you look and you act like an adult because you're able to see how other people act, and you feed off of their energy and their identities. But you go the whole way through life still being stuck as that 8-year-old. And so as you become an adult, narcissism and stuff like that, behaviorism, if you want to call it that, has come a long way to where behavior problems are like the biggest thing in the world right now, and people aren't even seeing it. They're too busy looking outside with their eyes instead of looking inside with their third eye. You got to be able to call yourself out and tell yourself, hey, I feel like this, why you did this, why you're in trouble, why you did great, all of the above, the good and positive. Because if you get caught up in narcissism, or you get caught up with involving yourself with somebody like that, you end up having your whole world spun out of control to where you're either going to get through it and use your head and start thinking, or you're going to give up and you're going to literally self-destruct. I call it mass destruction. When the head's so combobulated inside your mind, like you don't even know what's the next step to do in life. And that's society. That's what people is putting out in this world. And they're not only putting it out to the people, they're putting it out in every which way you can think of. And it starts with all of our children. Because then people don't even know how to become a parent, or much less continue to be a parent. Everybody's building up something that they're not going to be able to handle once crap hits the fan, It goes long ways from thousands of years ago, when they, about 6,000 years ago, they would call people with family nuclear families. Now where we fear nuclear war, but we don't understand that we're in a nuclear war right now within the mind. And people are out there doing dangerous things, not being able to understand why they're doing it, hurting other people emotionally, physically. When it comes to a victim of trauma, they don't even understand that the things that they're doing are the things that they feel about themselves. Meaning they'll go out of their way to make someone else feel like crap, or make their day down because their day is down and they do feel like crap. And they'll call people names and act out of aggression And whatever they say to you out of aggression, it's like narcissism times 10. They really mean it towards themselves. And so the biggest, line that's out there is, it's not you, it's me. Or it's not like that. It's not what you think. And they're right. It's what they think. It's not you, it's them. And it's all about decoding a narcissist. And the funny thing out there is, you got all these people that are helping narcissism, so to speak, meaning they're out there making people aware of this. But what they don't understand themselves is, well, they dated the narcissist. And the narcissist was their ex, or they got screwed over by a narcissist. And they're sitting there dogging them. They are dogging the crap out of them. When in fact, they contributed to their narcissism. I mean, they're going to act like everything was picture perfect when it really wasn't. Everything is picture perfect between, no matter who you are, a narcissist or an empath. It's always picture perfect when you first meet someone, because everybody's a sucker and believes in your fake ass identity. And so, it's picture perfect, but when you start getting serious, well, that's when the behavior gets serious. Depending on who comes out on top, who's going to be the empath, who's going to be the narcissist. Well, the one that leaves and the one that runs from the so-called narcissist is going to be acting like the empath, calling it out on the narcissist. But the funny thing is, and I'll prove my theory right here, is you got empaths on YouTube, on any other video, teaching you about narcissism, and they are totally making them look bad. They are totally dogging them down with their own words, that are narcissistic traits. If you're empathic, isn't it your job to help? You don't have to be with the person to help the person, but you're sitting there feeling your anger, trying to release your anger. And so when narcissists get on YouTube and they want to help themselves, all they get is a bunch of so-called empaths that are doing nothing but dogging on them, making them want to harm themselves even more. But you see, that empath that's talking on the computer screen, they don't understand that it's like a zombie bite. Like, you got infected and you couldn't even feel the infected. You couldn't feel that stream of narcissism running through your blood because, well, you put up a wall and you couldn't talk to your feelings and you couldn't find yourself. And so therefore all your feelings are mashed up in a box, and you never found yourself. Therefore you didn't even have your own identity because you kept all your feelings to yourself and you didn't let them go. Same thing as a person with trauma, just not as worse. But you're sitting there doing the same thing they do, gaslighting, spiraling conversations, doing nothing but trying to figure out the narcissist when the narcissist needs help, just like the empath does. It is a source of energy that keeps on spiraling for years, and it ain't ever going to get fixed until you go with that other way, which is actually working on yourself. Because working on yourself helps you realize yourself. It helps you realize your flaws. It helps you understand right from wrong of what you did, what you contributed to. And the empath is literally trying to put it all on the narcissist like it was their fault. No, it's a relationship. It's two people. It takes one person to step down off of that pedestal and say, hey, I did wrong, which is a chain reaction, domino effect, in the opposite way that we're used to going. And it makes the narcissist tell themselves, oh, okay, this time I wasn't that crappy of a person. Or this time I wasn't doing it. It makes them realize that it's not just somebody trying to blame them and cause more chaos for them. It's actually somebody trying to helping them. And once you get a narcissist to have that epiphany of you're trying to help them, well, then things can start changing for you. And then from there, you have your foot in the door. And then y'all can fix each other. And if you can't fix each other, at least you can start fixing yourself by doing a right thing. Something good, a good thing for your brain, for your mind, for your soul. The cycle has been going on too long. And it doesn't matter if you're a narcissist or an empath. Y'all both are still sitting there 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, wanting to get some rest, needing to go to work the next day, and you just can't sleep because you got too much on your mind. And so one person is blaming it on the other person, and the other person is giving back what they're giving. Everything follows within the religion thing, spiritual awakening, hello. It's not called a dark awakening. It's not called a negative awakening. It's called a spiritual awakening for some reason. And that's because no matter which way you go with your spiritual awakening, no matter what religion you want to believe in, no matter what it is, you have to live the good way. You have to live the positive way. If it ain't going to be in a religion way, then the default of that is putting it in the universe's hands, basically. And even doing so with that, it is still a universal law or nature's law that you got to live by. And so in order to have the spiritual awakening, it's got to be some format of a positive perspective in life. Can't be negative. So, you're thinking you're an empath. That's great. You might have some psychic abilities. That's great. But did you find yourself? Did you master your feelings? Did you understand? Did you get your beatific visions yet? All of the above. Are you putting out? Does it making you feel good? Because feeling good is not relinquishing anger. It's just being able to help people understand themselves, which helps you understand yourselves, to help you become a better person, that helps you become your higher self. Because there's only one way to do this, and that's in the positive way. So no matter what you find yourself believing in, doesn't matter. People start asking you what you believe in, you might as well start telling them, I believe in all the religions because they all speak good. Because at the end of a spiritual awakening, that's about all you're going to discover. Is at the end of the day, the highest religion that you can even lean towards is yourself. And once you do that, you'll find yourself having your maximum ability that you're blessed with by the universe. Mine so happen to be beatific visions. I help people get through trauma, events that has partaken their life and has crushed them apart. People with mental illnesses, schizophrenia, everything. Anything that the dark soul has to offer, I'm helping them resurrect themselves to become their higher self, to give them a new chance at life, and to actually live life like a decent person. Nobody wants to be like that. And so my beatific visions helps me see all emotions that the brain carries. I'm able to see their good, their bad, their egos, their spirit guide, which is your spirit, that your parents have given to you. And if you've lived through trauma, your spirit will be stuck at a little kid, a little girl, or a little boy. Don't matter. But it'll be a hatred one. And so, y'all guys remember, narcissists, empaths, it don't matter. The whole purpose is helping the world not become a self-destruct of mass destruction. Our minds are gonna kill us all, and everybody needs to pull together to help change that. So I just wanted to throw that out there and have y'all dwell on it.